All right, just a quick video for today. It's hot. I'm freaking sweating. But yeah, we're going to do some testing on a couple of saws. Working on getting things finalized for the races, making sure things are good. And if you can't tell, I am roasting. It's like 90 degrees. I've been sweating my butt off. And it's thunderstorms freaking happen every couple of minutes. So it's like the humidity is just through the roof. But we're going to go after it anyway. Testing on some saws. Check it out. All right. All right, here we go. The Husky 5000. It's a Husky 450 with a Partner 5000 top end on it. We're going to turn this thing up today. Last time we ran it, we were cutting firewood, and I had to be careful with the tune. I had to keep it pretty fat to keep it from getting too hot. Well, today's like, screw the heat. Let's send it. That's kind of what we're doing today. I got that race coming up, so I'd like to have the tune a bit closer and just to kind of double check the way it runs, you know what I mean? The chain's a safety, or not really a safety, it's one of those ones with the extra raker, and it's a semi chisel. So the chain's not like the race chain, but you know, I think you get the idea of what we're about to do here. We're going to make a test hit, we're going to send it, and it's going to misbehave like nothing else, like really bad. It's going to get hot. She's going to look like it's going to want to melt down. Heck, it might even melt down on me, you know what I mean? But I need to get her sent up, you know, or tuned out for that race coming up, and I figure now's a good chance or a good time to do it. I'm between thunderstorms right now, so you know, I was going to run the Partner 5000, but it developed another ear leak at the carb area. I think the intake thingy majiggy broke, the plastic thingy. I don't know. I haven't tore it apart yet. It's still. Well, I was just out here trying to make a cut with it, and I'm not going to tear it apart when it's still hot, you know. So I'm jumping over to this one. I'm going to work on the tune here. We're going to watch this saw misbehave. It's going to misbehave a lot probably. So let's see how she goes. Fresh mix on the fuel. It's just regular pump gas, the cheap stuff. And 3 ounces per gallon. So there's 6 ounces of oil in a 2-gallon container is what I mean. That's why I just mixed up that. So that's how I have her mixed. It is Echo Red Armor oil, by the way, in case you're wondering. This is running a 372 carb, so I don't need to use the trigger lock stuff. That's all built into the carb. You ready? Let's see what she does. I gotta do some work with that chain. I just sharpened it and set the raker. Something's off. It ain't pulling. It ain't pulling at all. So we'll move on to something else for now until I get a better chain set up on it. I don't have any other chains with that drive length, so it just may not like that chain. That's safety raker or something. It's not happy. Not happy about it at all. I'll have to double check. Maybe I should have put my glasses on when I was sharpening it. That's probably why. I wasn't wearing my glasses. And I probably got it screwed up. So yeah, wear your glasses when sharpening. But we're gonna move on to a different saw right now. All right, this is my, 5 cube unlimited class build. It's not 100% yet. Not pulling as many RPM as I want it to, but you know, we're taking it to the races anyway. It's a project I can play with, you know. I got it to this point. Now over time I'm going to work at taking it further, you know. But it's on methanol. Runs a 10-pin sprocket, square chain, all that stuff. It's not a race chain. It's just a practice chain, I guess you could say. But we're going to fire it up, and the reason is because I have a built-in tack on it, and I want to compare it to my handheld. I'm kind of curious to see if they're reading the same. I just got a feeling that there's a difference between what my handheld says and what that one says. The one that's on the saw, I've been talking from the beginning how it sucks. Sometimes I'll be through the cut and it won't even display a reading. So that's kind of what I'm going to do here, is just, I want to get an idea if I should just get rid of that tack and get another one. Or if it actually is as accurate, you know what I mean, as I need it to be. But let's get her fired up, make a couple of cuts. All right, so I don't think she's going to start without a prime. So that's what we're getting ready to do here. We'll get her started, throw the air filter back on, and hopefully that gets her done. Let's find out. It didn't start to pull any fuel. We might have a carburetor issue. Now she's warmed up. All right, now she's warmed up. I got the air filter back on. Now let's see what happens. Alright, the two tacks are not giving me identical readings, but it's close enough. They're within like 50 RPM. It's close enough. It's coming up about 12,000 RPM in the cut. I can get it to 12.1, 12.2. Just depends how hard I push on it, you know what I mean? And the more fuel I shove at it, the more it likes it, the faster it gets. It's just more fuel makes it run faster and faster, and I'm kind of at the limit at that carburetor right now. But I'm not going to play with it before the races. I'm going to leave it as is. We'll play with it a little more after the races. I'm not going for first place. I'm just going to have fun, you know what I mean? So she needs more fuel is what's going on. She's just starving. Did you notice it coming out of the cut? She kind of wants to give you a moment where it wants to run away. That's lean. That's a sign of being lean. She's definitely lean. But we're running at the races like that. You know, it's good enough for 3 cuts. But if it's not, like if I have to start the saw on the ground and get it to the wood and everything, I'm gonna have trouble because I don't have, it wants you to be on the trigger a little bit to start it. But I mean, if I'm starting it, running it over the wood, I'm good. You know what I mean? If we start out that way. It just depends on how the start is. You know what I mean? There she is. All right, let's give this guy another try. Here, I was working on it and I forgot to tighten up the bolts for the carb, so the carb was just flopping in there. Yeah, that'll cause an air leak, won't it? Problem is, I was screwing with these screws, so I guarantee you this tune's gonna be way off. Let's see what happens. Do I need a choke though? Probably. We're gonna try it without. So there she is. Don't forget that is a 9-pin sprocket on there. The torque seems a little low because of it. It's kind of right at that edge torque wise where she pulls the 9. If I don't get too heavy of a hand, it pulls it fine. If I want to go with heavy hand though, I should probably go to an 8-pin. You know what I mean? It's kind of right at that area. The tunability, it's not perfect yet. I'm getting too much air past the butterfly, so it's wanting to be extremely slow returning to idle. And what it is the butterfly, that little round disc looking thing. I'm back to a Tillotson carburetor. I got rid of that 660. I put it back to a Tillotson and remodified it and everything to get a better tune out of it than what we were originally. So this is a different Tillotson carburetor than what you saw originally, but it's not the 660 carb either. This is a Tillotson. I'll show you here in a second. But that little butterfly, that little round disc, originally there's no hole in it. So some carbs are set up, or some of those are set up where they have a tiny hole to let a little air pass through, and these don't. They rely entirely on the amount the butterfly is open. Well, the opening in the carb to allow your fuel through is on one side of the carb, but your air comes through, split. It's half on one side, half on the other. So what I did is I drilled a hole through it. So that round disc looking thing, I drilled a hole in it to allow some air past. That way I wouldn't have to open the butterfly as far, and I wouldn't have the air split between what's getting mixed with the fuel really well and the stuff that's really clean. But I think I drilled that hole too big, and it's causing it to behave like it's getting too much air. You know what I mean? The thing is, for the races, I'm completely fine showing up with it like that. Completely fine. I would take it right as you're looking at it and show up to the races. The wood we're racing on is about the same size, and that's the chain, that's everything. The only thing differently would be pull the air filter off, and heck, I might even just run it with it on because of the tune. You know what I mean? So that carb could actually use a little more fuel, and if I pull that air filter off, it'll want even more. So I probably would just race it with the air filter on it. But that being said, I'm fine showing up with it like that. It's running good enough for now. It'll take time to get it better, but for now, I'm fine with leaving it as is. You know what I mean? It's the restart where I'm going to run into issues. So I don't think it's going to restart very well. And if they have me start the saw before the cut, then I'm screwed probably. Let me see. So I have it set up where I can use the trigger lock. It'll send it to full throttle. And, hopefully one pull she starts. I mean, she did just there, So hopefully that one pull started and I'll be good. I need to change that starter handle out though to something bigger and easier to grab. That's about all that's left. And a little more tweak to the carb though. She could use more fuel. But this is a completely different carburetor again. Yeah, we're going through several carburetors on this guy, and this is the best one. This is our best one yet. I could use just a touch more fuel, and you know, that's a modification we can do down the road. If you look in there, that's a Tillotson HS26A. It's a vintage style Tillotson. I did leave the choke intact, but she's modified to run alcohol like that. And she is pulling a 9-pin sprocket with 325 chain. And if you're familiar out there, a lot of folks do that on their 60cc saws. And here I am with a 50cc saw doing it. You know, bring that torque up, go bigger on the sprocket, and then eventually work at getting that RPM up more. I want to try to get this thing running with a 9-pin about 1,000, 1,500, probably 1,500 RPM more than what it is now. My other one, the Husky pulls about the same amount of RPM, the Husky with a Partner 5000, but it's doing it on an 8-pin or 7 or 8-pin. Same RPM, just roughly on a 7 or 8-pin. So this one's doing it on 9. This one will be a little faster. It's not a day and night difference. I don't expect to win any races with this guy, but it's one step closer. You know, we'll keep tinkering at it until we get her to where we want it. Cutting it about 13.5, and I want it to be pushing closer to 15. So yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, so that's where we're at today. I got to sharpen that chain on that other one, and we'll get into more testing. So from here out, you're going to basically be seeing me test saws, getting their chains in order and all that stuff. This one's ready to go. Even after all those cuts I just made, I would send it just like this. I will probably touch it up though, because I got that event coming up, and I'm sure this thing's going to get ran. So we'll have to touch the chain up. In fact, at the event, we'll probably be playing with chains, tuning, and so forth, getting ready for the races. You know, July 11th and 12th. Those are the dates. Folks are coming over to my place, and we're going to have some fun. And I'm looking at myself, and I need a shave. I look 50 pounds bigger than what I am. But anyway, we'll catch you later.